This is a WWN Publishing Group recording. Copyright 2017, all rights reserved. This is an abridged version of Hot Georgia Rein by Martha Sweeney to make the story appropriate for all listeners on YouTube. Read to you by the author. If you want to read the complete story, you can find the ebook or paperback online. Links are provided below in the description. Chapter 20, Henry. I don't see why you don't want to be at the naming ceremony, Grady says as I mess with some papers that are in front of me. Because I don't want anyone to know just yet, I remind, eyeing him. You just don't want Ivy to know right now, Grady accuses. Precisely, I confirm. I don't see why not, Grady huffs, inspecting one of my carvings. It's not like she wouldn't understand. She's got her own business, for Christ's sake. Because, I sigh, I need to make sure things are locked in and good for the business before she or anyone else finds out. I need enough time for the finances to be good where I know that I can take care of her once we're ready. You know she ain't stupid, right? Grady asks. What's that supposed to mean? I check. She'll know, Grady states. Know what? I press. By the name. She'll put two and two together, Grady informs. No one else will get the connection with the Firefly Resort and Spa, but she will. I let out a heavy sigh, not realizing that fact with her being in town. Fuck. You two already talk about marriage? Grady pries. No, I share. It's too early for her. Not too early for you? Grady pokes. Nope, I confirm. How do you know she's not ready? He asks. Because she freaked out when it came up in passing yesterday, I state. When? Grady questions. I didn't hear her or Mama talking about it, and if they didn't, that means she didn't freak out like you think. She didn't talk to your Mama about it? I search, confused by his words. Nope, he confirms. Whenever something freaks Ivy out, she and Mama talk. Then, Mama talks to Papa and Nana about it as if it'll help both of them. So, the idea of marriage doesn't freak Ivy out, I check. Not that I know of, Grady shares. If it had, she might have brought it up to me last night when we talked, but she never did. You and Ivy talked, I ask, curious as to how it went and if there's anything he can tell me that will reveal what's going on in her head. I know their relationship has been a little rocky. Not bad, actually, Grady says. Better than I thought, even though she kinda called me out on shit. He wrings the back of his neck. Said that she even knows someone in New York who I might hit it off with instead of one of the crazy freaks down here. I study him for a few seconds and then turn my eyes back to the papers before making my next comment, not wanting to make him feel like he's on the spot. She get you to confess that you're gay? I probe. I look up and find Grady's face stark white as if he's seen a ghost. I chuckle. You think I didn't know? Know what? Grady denies. Don't worry, I soothe. I've known for a while. Known what? He repeats. I get it, I say, wanting to calm him. You're not ready for people to know. That's cool. Just know, I don't care that you are, nor will I judge you. I can't after the shit I've done and been through. You've experimented with men? Grady pries with a hint of teasing to his tone. No, I laugh. But nice try. Was it hard for you? Grady asks. What do you mean? I return. You know, being with someone you didn't really love when Ivy wasn't? You know, Grady inquires. Worst time of my life, I confirm. I wasn't happy and blamed everyone else because of it. I made us both unhappy. It wasn't until we found out that Juliana was dying that we became friends again. Grady nods, processing my words. The hardest part was admitting to Juliana and myself that I could have still been a better husband, even though I didn't love her, rather than treat her the way that I did. I share. I don't like the person I was, and I'm determined not to be that again. Do you think Ivy sees that? Grady inquires. I hope so, I admit. I think so, Grady confirms. I nod, appreciative of his words. I know she's changed a bit too, Grady states. You might not see it all yet because you've only spent a little time with her, barely talking, Grady winks. I see some of it, I affirm. But even when I knew Ivy back then, there were parts of her I still didn't know and understand. Women are complicated in general. People are complicated in general, Grady adds. I don't think it really needs to be that complicated. Too much bullshit. Amen to that, I cheer. Go easy with her, Grady says. Push. She needs that. But also know when not to push. She's been through a lot, not saying you haven't. I know what you mean, I agree. Thanks for that. No problem, Grady returns with a smile. I'll get going for the whole event and all. Just call if you need anything. Thanks for being the front man, I reply. I don't like it, knowing most won't understand how I got the position, Grady states. They don't matter, I inform. You and what you've done matters. Thanks, Grady returns as he disappears out of the barn.
When I finish up some work stuff, I hop in the truck and make my way over to the Abneys' home, hoping to catch Ivy and see when we can get together again. "She's with her mama," Nana says, opening the door. "They stopped by the bed and breakfast, and then they're going out of town for the day for some girls' time." "Thanks," I reply. "They should be home around dinner," she adds. "Great," I say. "I'll let 'em know you stopped by," Nana informs. "You should join us for dinner. I'll tell Sue Ellen." "Okay," I return. "Thanks. I'll see you later." With Ivy gone, I head back to the house we stopped at yesterday to work. I didn't have the heart to tell her that the house was something I started for us back when she first went off to college. I had gotten the land really cheap because it's just out of town and off of a side road that's away from the general traffic. There were talks that the land was of no use because of its odd location with a few of the attractions and how the back of it spills out into the national park. No one knows that I own the property, not unless they look it up in the public records. I got some money when one of my grandparents passed, which is where the funding came from for the land. Then, from all of the money I saved from working, I slowly started to construct the house, using some of the trees on the lot for the structure. When shit went south between Ivy and me, and even when I eventually married Juliana, I only stopped building it for a short while. The last night I had seen Ivy those months before I was supposed to be married, I planned on bringing her to the house, wanting her to know it was for us. It was just a structural outline, but it was something I was proud of. There have been several times that I thought about selling it, but I never could bring myself to do it. Instead, I kept working, kept designing, kept hoping. The house itself and the garage are completely done. Some additional landscaping, an area for a greenhouse and farm section, and the driveway being paved is all that's left to be finished. I set the timer on my phone before I get to work, knowing that I'll want to be ready just in case I do decide to go to the Abneys' house for dinner. I'm considering not going, wanting to give Ivy some time with her family. With the radio blaring, I get to work paving the back part of the driveway that is in front of and part of the side of the garage. The heat from laying asphalt and from the sun slow things a little, but I push through. When the sun is hitting the horizon, I realize that my phone battery had died and that it would be best to wrap up for the day. I clean up, putting all of the equipment and tools back in the garage, lock it up, and head back to the barn. "Heard you were looking for me," her sweet voice calls when I step out from the shower with nothing but a towel on. I look up, excited to find Ivy sitting on the edge of the workbench. "Have you?" I goad. "It was either you or some other cute guy. I can't remember what Nana said," she teases. I slowly stride toward her, enjoying the sight of her in a dress. "I'm sure you remember," I reply. "Mom and I went shopping," Ivy informs. "Yeah?" I ask, wanting her to keep talking instead of paying attention to how close I am. "Yep," she confirms. "Got this dress." "Looks good on you," I confirm. "You think?" she asks with a sexy smile. "Would look better on the floor, though," I add. "Got something else, too," she adds. "What's that?" I inquire, running my fingers along her thighs, pushing up her dress. "The stuff that's under the dress," she says playfully. "I'm sure they look better on the floor, too," I remark confidently. "I'm sure," she agrees, tilting her head to the side to prevent me from getting a taste of her lips. "Why you gotta tease me?" I ask, tugging her chin toward me. "Seems like all we do is this," she states with a sassy tone. "I don't mind," I chuckle. "You?" "Not really," she sighs. "Though we do need to talk. Catch up?" "We are catching up," I return, nipping her ear. "Mama was sad you didn't make it to dinner," Ivy claims. "She sent me with some leftovers." "I didn't mean not to," I admit. "But I'm still up for eating something. Maybe you?" Ivy bites her lip. "Maybe." She lets out a whimper when my fingers graze higher up her leg. She did send me along with some pie, too. "What kind?" I ask, skimming fingers along the edges of her panties. "Strawberry rhubarb," Ivy informs with a moan. "My favorite," I say. "Next to you, that is." "What the hell is going on here?" a woman's voice shrieks from my right. My head spins, and I find Mrs. Summerlin standing in the doorway. "No wonder my daughter died," Mrs. Summerlin accuses. "She died of a broken heart because you were cheating on her." "I wasn't cheating on Juliana," I remark, irritated by her accusation. "I find that very hard to believe," Mrs. Summerlin states with her hand on her hip. "Doesn't matter what you believe. What matters is what Juliana knew and understood," I quip. "I knew there was always something between the two of you," Mrs. Summerlin continues. "Juliana would not have understood anything with you sleeping around with this slut." "Back off, Mrs. Summerlin," I caution, taking a step toward her. "I will most certainly not," she says. "My husband will hear about this. The whole town will hear about this." "Mrs. Summerlin," I call after her. She disappears, not bothering to acknowledge me. "I should go," Ivy announces, jumping down off the bench. "Stay here," I direct, needing her to not get in the middle of this bullshit or leave. Ivy nods, but I see hesitation and worry in her face. I kiss her hard, wanting Ivy to know I need her to stay before I run after Mrs. Summerlin. I'll be right back, I inform. I jog out of the barn with my hand clenched around my towel. Mrs. Summerlin, don't, she directs, getting her car unlocked. It's your fault my baby is dead. Your fault. I didn't kill her, I remind. Cancer did. You might as well have, Mrs. Summerlin seethes before slamming her car door behind her.
This is the end of this chapter. Thank you for listening. I hope you're enjoying the story so far. To read the full unabridged version, you can find a link in the description below. To find out about new releases before the general public, be sure to subscribe to my newsletter. You'll find a link also in the description. Also, to be notified when the next chapter is published, make sure you subscribe to my channel.